Hey everybody, it's Lynn from A Bit of Birdsong. I wanted to show you something that I just finished up this morning, and LaSharown, I have to tell you, we must have been on a wavelength. So LaSharown is a friend of mine that I met online through our channels, and yesterday I was thinking about an idea for this little book, but I knew I needed photos of vintage gentlemen. Lo and behold, I go out to check the mail and there's a large package from my friend LaSharown, and in that package was a bunch of Tim Holtz photographs, these little cards. I won't call them die cuts because it's the full size, like square or rectangle or whatever. So this is a little black book and it is so much fun. I've been wanting to do something with photographs of gentlemen versus ladies. You know, ladies just make things absolutely beautiful when we make our junk journals, art pages, collage pages. It is so easy to be drawn to, the female image. And I think part of that is because of all of the accessorizing that goes with it. The beautiful hats, the feathers, the color in the face, the dresses, and just the softness. Anyway, so consider this a book that was put together by a young girl, maybe, let's say she's like 17 or 18. She really doesn't even know much about the world, but she has met a few men in her life, and she's put together a little black book. Now, her mother would be absolutely shocked at what is in here. On the outside, I have a rusty safety pin, and this is just a rosebud from a very inexpensive artificial flower. I used some Ranger alcohol ink to darken up the green there, and it made it look a lot more authentic. The bright green just wasn't getting it. So alcohol ink, I love it for those reasons. It kind of soaks into places that other things won't. And I love using the grommets, like two together, to hold something into place. This ribbon that wraps around is sewn to the edge. It's kind of a stiff ribbon. It's not really expensive. I did have some ribbon that is much softer, maybe more like velvety, but I wanted this to represent what a young girl might have had, say from a package or maybe a ribbon off of a dress or something, and it was just discarded. I think this ribbon might be the kind that's used in flower arrangements, and I just grunged it up a little bit. Now, here we get into the book. I don't know which to show you first. If I should just flip. I'm going to just flip through it to start with. So on the first page, we have Cecil, and she's written, "I love you," and there's a little pansy glued down. She has sewn one of his buttons onto the corner of the book there. Then on this page we have young Charles. I don't know why she's put a 2 there and circled it. Maybe she's considering him second in line, and she's put a little heart there. This is Alfred, and don't you just, for me, the frustration is so real when I find an old photograph or something and I so much want to read what is there and I can't. She's obviously written something here and then scribbled it out and decided to write sweet. He does look a little bit old for her, but I think in general men and women used to look older than we do now for a number of reasons. Then we get over here to George. You can see this beautiful hairpin. One of the rhinestones has fallen out. Maybe he bought that for her. There's a ticket there, so that leads me to think that maybe they have outings. He's taken her places. And maybe her mother doesn't even know she's been to a show or something with George. Here we have Edward, and the whole thing that started this book is thinking about sewing flowers and pockets and just a little bit of finery and flamboyance and accessories to pictures of vintage men. He already has a spiffy bow tie. And I love these Tim Holtz photographs. He comes up with just the best. She's written, "Sorry, Mama." and this is Edward. Then we have Byron. Now there's something scribbled here that we can't quite read. And again, she's got an arrow pointing to this ribbon or whatever. Wouldn't we love to know what she said about Byron? Now, I know what it's stuffy. That's what she wrote. And then I decided to make it to where you can't read it. Here's Augustus. And that was a popular name. I actually had a great uncle named Augusta. He hated it. He absolutely hated it. He wouldn't even use it in his name. He just went to the initial A. And so she's put a little pocket from a piece of this ribbon and cut out some flowers to go in the pocket for Augustus. A popular nickname for Augustus around the turn of the century was Augie, like early 1900s. And then on the last page we have Pierre, and we've got Paris. So I love that it just totally spreads out, and we have all of this wonderful, I mean, this could sit up. I love it. This is the fabric I was holding in my last video from the ground up when I said I need to lay this on my desk because I know what I'm using it for. I did want sort of that carpet bag look. The heavy textile, all of this appeals to me. The Industrial Revolution, Charles Dickens, Victorian England, the English Romantic poets, all of that. Everything about that it fascinates me. There are aspects of that never need to come back. People were overworked, poverty was huge, disease was huge, but there was beauty. There was a huge focus on the family, and there were other good things that came about. We have a lot of technology because of just that Industrial Revolution. So now going in the opposite direction, and she's written here my little black book, and you can see the spots and stains. So on the back, she's written a little bit about these fellows. Cecil, but we call him Cess. Dear Cess, what a gentleman. And she's got 11 elm, and then this little cutout from, it's like a calling card, a Victorian. This says affection, and this is from an actual old scrapbook that I had in my collection. Probably an ad card or something, an advertising card or a trade card. So she has written, I love you on Cecil. I think he might be number one, and that's why he's in front. Then we have Charles, and she's got Charles, ooh la la. She's young herself, so she's writing these things that she thinks sound important, and she's got Charles. This little scribble here says my torn dress, and we've got a piece of this beautiful old, it looks like satin or taffeta. And you remember Charles, he looks so young. He looks more like a teenage boy than a grown man. But they must have a crush on each other. She's got ooh la la, and she wrote just a baby, which I think is funny because she's just a baby. And then we get over here, and we've got this old negative. Alfred takes photos. He took my photo. And then it shows a couple of girls in dresses, and one is sitting on the ground. The other one seems to be bending over, talking or whispering. Not improper at all, but maybe a little bit too improper for what her mother would have to say about it. Then let's look at George again. This is George with the ticket and the hairpin. And back over here, it says, George always takes me to the movies. I bet her mother doesn't know that. I love this old piece of cellophane tape that was on this old book page. And this is from a book, I can't remember what it's called. It's something like The Bookshelf for Girls. It's early 1900s, and just stories and tales for girls. She has sewn some flower petals here. And now we come over to Edward, and he's the one, she wrote, Sorry, Mama. You see this receipt from 1900 for the Farmer's Bank. It looks like maybe it's a farm or a house payment. She wrote, Mama says he will have a house and land, but I want more. And we wonder who will win out. Is it going to be this young girl or her mama? Maybe she will come to her senses. That doesn't mean that Edward is nice. So then we have Byron. Let's look back at Byron. He looks sort of stuffy. Byron takes me to important places, and then she has written noses in the air. We have stamps. We have what's probably part of a napkin. Well, you and I know it's part of a napkin anyway, probably from Tuesday morning, but we're going to pretend that it's a lot older than what it is. And we have a ticket stub pinned on with a safety pin. And then this is Augustus. And Augustus does look pretty, he doesn't look very happy. And he's holding that cigar. She has written Augie might have too much of a temper. And she's got this playing card. And Augie looks to me like he could be a gambler, like somebody who has a real short fuse, and you know, he would be out in the saloons playing, and he might give her a thrill, but maybe she has sense enough to know that that's not what she wants. And then on this very last page, she has cut out a picture from a magazine of this beautiful couple. That's what she has pictured for herself, don't we all? And she's just putting all these little mementos in. This last man, Pierre, she wrote Paris on that. So maybe that's someone she has met in her social circles, you know, coming out as a young lady and being introduced to society. She's got Pierre written here, and then there's another little ad card. It says Frosted Beauty, number 5. That also came out of a very old scrapbook. And in here we have Pierre wants to travel. And then down here she has written, ooh la la, Pierre speaks French, which would be very impressive to a young girl. I just put a little charm here that says made with love. So this is going into the shop. I love, love, love this little book. It was just totally an inspiration that came out of, I won't say it came out of nowhere. I like to sit at night and just look at ideas and, you know, flip through magazines and think about, I even like to read about old things. Jason and I work on genealogy, so sometimes these ideas just come out of nowhere, and it's so much fun to come out here to the workshop and carry these out. So let's open this up and show you the back. So it's just a really pretty, it's almost like a tiny scrapbook all by itself. I really enjoyed making this. That's some heavy textile or upholstery trim. You can see the little flower petals. I love that color, the old cellophane tape, the receipt, the tickets. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you're inspired to make your own little black book and to write your own story. My only thing is that I haven't really given a name to the girl this belongs to. So if anybody has any ideas, or if you want this to be yours and you can give it a name yourself and keep adding to it, it will be in the shop. Thank you so much for watching.